This week's episode sponsor for dailygiving.org. Great organization, gives out $1 a day on your behalf. I love it. Every single day, someone's giving out $1 on my behalf of charity. But what's really powerful about it is that not only is it $1, which may not do much, but collectively it's making a major difference. They're giving out over $100,000 a month to a whole variety of organizations. So it's amazing. One of our dollars, but put together, can change the world. Check them out, dailygiving.org. Be part of it. So this week's parsha, this week's Torah portion, is the beginning. And I want to skip the creation and I want to skip Adam. I want to go right to the first ever sibling rivalry, Cain and Abel. Incredible story, right? Cain is a farmer, works the ground, decides he wants to give a sacrifice to God, gives him from the mediocre crops. God doesn't accept it. Abel's a shepherd, wants to give God from the choicest of his crop, and God accepts that. Cain sees his brother Abel, is jealous, goes out and kills him. God says, "Where is Abel?" And Cain says, "Am I his keeper?" And God's like, "Yeah, you are." And Cain's like, and that was it. End of Cain. Spends the rest of his life wandering around. Incredible story. Why in the world did God let this happen? You ever wonder? Like, why couldn't God just accept Cain's sacrifice? Like, why cause a problem? He's God. He doesn't need the fruits. It's not like when Cain brought, the peppers. God's like, "Really? Those peppers? Like, are you kidding me? That's the lettuce you bring me? Like, it's all wilted. Like, how am I going to eat that? Like, really? Do you see how brown those bananas are? Like, you think God's up there like, you're joking? Okay, he got a 65. Give him a smiley face. Like, give him an A for effort. Like, why is God causing a problem for it? Okay, fine. It's not perfect. He didn't dominate like Abel did, but to start this whole thing. What's happening? Why do we get this story so early in life? Right away, we walk into this mess. What's happening here? So Cain and Abel aren't just two people. They're two concepts. The farmer and the shepherd. Our life is a constant choice of the farmer and the shepherd. The farmer is the one that is connected to the ground, to the physical world, to materialism. Not every farmer, but farming in general is very nature-based. It's about how much you accumulate. Because if you have enough land and you sow enough seeds, and over the course of time, nature takes its course. Of course, there are some, rain. But if nature takes its course, if you rely and live in nature, you will be sustained from the ground. Farming is very earthy. It's grounded. It's physical. It's material. You live and breathe materialism. When the Jews came into Israel after eating manna from heaven, God said, "I'm worried that you're going to forget about me." What does that mean? He says, once you start to work the ground, once you start to tap into the world that I put in, the natural world, you're going to stop seeing me. You're going to get lost and you're going to forget me. Because the whole concept of planting and farming is a relationship with the natural, the material. And when you have a relationship to the material, you start to see the world as limited. There's only so much you can sow, only so much you can reap. And if I lose this, I've lost it. You live in physical world. You live in the give and take of nature. Being a shepherd is totally different. Being a shepherd is actually away from the ground. You are walking hills. You're not stuck building and planting. You have time to think, to introspect, to go bigger, to be bigger as a human being, which is why so many of our leaders were shepherds: Moses, David, Abraham. You're removing yourself from the world. You're not toiling and relying on nature. You're trying to care for animals that are non-rational beings. And your day is spent in contemplation or in giving. You're connecting to life. You're aspiring upwards. And in that world, 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2. It can equal 5. You can expand. There's exponentiality. Shepherds can give birth and could multiply. They can pass away. There's a different nature that takes place when your life is connected to the shepherd. You're looking up. Cain and Abel are two ways of seeing the world: physical and spiritual. And the clash of those two worlds took place in the sacrifice. When Cain comes in and gives God from the mediocre produce, what he was saying to God is, I don't really do this for you. I know you exist, and I believe in you. My father was born from you. I get it. And I know I need you to take care of stuff for me, rain and all that other stuff. So I'm going to pay the tariff. I'm going to pay the tax. I'm going to smear the guard to get more stuff. So what do I got to do? How little do I got to pay my employees, my rabbi, charity? How little do I have to give to people to take and get and get and get and get? Because at the center of my life is me, because I live in a world that if I give too much, I lose. And the rejection of Cain was the rejection of that way of seeing the world. That's not how God built the world. The world is not physical, it's spiritual. It just manifests through the physical world. And if you're a physical being trying to toy with spiritual, you're missing the point. And so Abel comes in and says, I can't control anything. I'm working. I'm not sitting back. I'm working in the world. I'm part of the physical world. But my life is giving. My life is deepening. And I realize that it's not one for one. What I have really is so that I can give. I'm a spiritual being in a physical world. I'm a soul having a physical experience, not a body with a spiritual awakening. And so take the best, because it's all for you anyways. I don't keep score. I know you'll take care of me. That's the clash. It's the clash that's in all of us. The clash of, do I take and take and take and think that I can count the world and it'll all be there for me, and the goal is accumulation and the winner is the one with the more stuff? Or am I giving? I'm being normal, but am I giving? Is my life about giving my best to the people around me? Recognizing that when I give and I don't keep score, I'll make it in the end. And at the end of the day, being able to give to the Creator is what I'm here for. Cain and Abel, farmer, shepherd. That's me and you. Each of us have it inside us. Take or give. Physical or spiritual. I win or we win. That's a choice you make every day. Now, how does the story end? Seems like the physical wins, right? Cain wins. No. Because in this world, it looks like physical wins. It looks in the beginning like the physical seems to slaughter the spiritual. But if you've learned any of the inner workings of the Jewish world and Kabbalah, you learn that actually Abel, he dies, but he comes back. His soul is reincarnated in another shepherd, in Moses. There's also, Cain isn't done. Abel comes back. Abel isn't done. Abel comes back as Moses and becomes the greatest human being that the Jewish people have ever seen. The ultimate giver, the ultimate provider, the ultimate leader. And if you look at Moses' life, his life is a life of giving. Because sometimes it looks like the giver loses, but the giver never loses. Cain may have won by killing his brother, but his life was wandering and lost. Like anyone else who believes that life is about materialism. And Abel may have lost in the beginning, but he comes back as the man who has given us the greatest gift in the world, a relationship with God. And that's our story. This sibling rivalry is taking place inside our minds every day. Farmer, shepherd, materialist, spiritualist, taking, giving. And the story in this week's portion starts our year off. Every single one of us has to fight that battle, to live in this world, to be part of this world, but to always aspire for more, to always see ourselves as a soul having a physical experience, and to being able to bring out the shepherd inside every single one of us.